word, epic. That is the only thing that describes this episode of Hunter x Hunter. I mean, there was just so much epic moments, and the way the narrator is pulling off his job of just talking about the different individual scenes of this episode really make the episode so freaking enjoyable. Now, before I did this review, a lot of people were starting to complain, saying like the first half of this episode was really slow with Yopi because it felt like they just stood on that stair scene for way too long, and they used slow motion effects that just really dragged on and dragged on. Personally, in my opinion, I actually thought this episode was really done well, and the narrator did his job of explaining situations, keeping it entertaining, and I really loved the way the entire art style effect of certain scenes were really animated. Now, we all can agree, though, this episode where it really started to shine and where you really got those pent-up emotions, we're definitely at the later half of this episode. Before I get into the epicness of the later half, let's talk about the first half. Now, we got to see a little bit of character development with Shoot this episode. I mean, Shoot actually broke out of his cage because of Gon, and actually was starting to charge up the stairs like a freaking boss. I mean, you gotta love the inspirational music in this series, and the way you just see how they're just going straight on past, straight towards Yopi to take him down. It was really freaking awesome. There wasn't a lot of dialogue from their party in this actual episode in the first half. I think only Shoot, Knuckles, and maybe Killa had a couple of lines, but not a lot. I don't know, without actual emotions from other characters we've gotten used to over these past 100 episodes, they still managed to portray the feelings and emotions and the build-up in this episode really well with the narrator, even though they didn't use really our main characters talking. Now, let's talk about the later half of this episode. Emotions. There was so much emotion in this second half of the episode. I mean, I was actually on the verge of tears when you saw Peto just start to have tears in her eyes. I hate him. I hate him so much. I just want to strangle him to freaking death. I want to see him crushed after what he did to Kite. But for some reason, I just could not draw up the emotions I felt because Komugi just being literally killed like she got hit by the Dragon's Drive and it was bleeding out. And you get to see the king actually showing compassion, love, kindness, and gentleness with a human being when he's been built up to be such a monster, a grotesque monster that doesn't feel actual feelings towards human race. And this was a stunning episode because it hits you hard. I mean, Peto was mainly crying because of the king's sorrow and upsetment, and the way his just entire aurora, his nin was just around him in like darkness, like he was so depressed, and then he reverts back to his normal self. But we all know for a fact, like, what the hell is going to happen. I mean, we know for a fact he's going to go for some fury rage. And I know the face he gave Peto when he says, heal Komugi. I was like, holy crap, that face means he is going to kill you if you do not bring her back. If she dies, you are dead. That's exactly the face the king gave. And I was like, holy crap, that's scary. They did a good job with this ending build-up in this episode. Actually, I like this episode a lot better than the last episode because the narrator seems to have gotten better with this actual episode. He seemed to explain it a lot more, and it seemed like he got the actual key moments right, especially with the background music and the way the animation of the faces are all done. Now, I'm going to enjoy this. I've heard a lot of people also talking about the narrator is going to be a big part in the series now since he's introduced, I guess, last episode. And so, pretty much, the narrator is going to be with us for a very long time, which I am fine with that. I really am. I love a storytelling type event in a series because it adds more depth to the other side of the plot and allows you to connect more with the actual world and atmosphere. And that's what I really love about Hunter x Hunter, because having a narrator actually explaining it from an actual third-person point of view really will entertain me and a lot of anime watchers of Hunter x Hunter. Now, I'm a non-manga reader, so I don't know much about what is going to happen next. I have not been spoiled either, but I am curious exactly what is going to happen, since we had the king literally just go past Netero and freaking Zeno just like nothing, literally passed by them and literally had no problem. He could have literally just slit their heads off with his tail and just decapped them right there, and it could have been game over. But instead, he wanted to have an honorable and fair fight, even though he probably had so much rage after what just happened to Komugi. And so I was like, that is an honorable guy. Even though he's probably the main villain in this arc, and he's a really badass, strong, freaking evil guy, I will say that's a villain I admire in a series. They did a good freaking job with his villain build-up. He's not a lifeless villain that I just hate and I want him off the screen. He's a villain that I can have compassion towards, a villain that I can understand, and a villain I can see now why he's so freaking pissed. He's going to kill people, and that is what I like. So I cannot wait for the next episode of Hunter x Hunter because it's going to be freaking awesome. Tell me what you think about this episode. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you enjoy it? What you think about the anime adaptation from the manga? You all let me know in the comments below. Hope you all have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please stay safe. Chibi out.